Alright, boom. Back again. Download the MySpace. Big up yourself now, 565. Big up the haters, as you know I like to do. You get me? Max and Shav back for 2023 and we're keeping it moving and that. How are we doing this one though? It's our first guest of the year, isn't it? This is episode 20. This one's, what do you call it?
Did you research the number?
Shush man, you're not meant to talk yet. Like, no one's meant to know you're here. Do you get me? What is it again? 20 was...
I only remember 21.
It's 20. So I'm saying, these are the... You know, like I'm doing the most, you know? Like, I get left to do most of the stuff. But nah, it's not a big thing. I just... 20, innit?
Right. Emphasise the eye rolling.
20, yeah. Could you introduce the guest? I've been introduced the now I've been wanting her on for a long time, but she's just been on a delay and that. So yeah, you have, man. Like, you just been on a delay and that. And then you lot try and clash with the clothes on that, but it's all good. But now we'll hold tight.
Kemi.
Hey.
The judge go, hey guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, but because Kemi was asking about the topic, innit? It's like,
because Kemi is the one, not the only, but the one that is most like faithful and regular and spots many, you know what I mean, and gives us feedback on like previous pods and whatnot.
I enjoy watching them.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, we can ask like what's our best one so far, and we're gonna do that later. But the reason we brought you on the show, and I know you keep asking and you're saying flowers. The thing is, flowers is that we want to give you your flowers, isn't it? Like, we want to make you know that you're appreciated and for all the work that you've done. So that was the main cost. And now you can go. Oh, no flowers and none like that. But the flowers is that. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a compliment.
Yeah. So it's basically
and the recognition
of everything that you've done. Like, because as mad as it is, like, you do a lot, and as much as just to get your time, I appreciate it as well. So I want to thank you, and just for, there's a lot I could go into in terms of what you've done for me as a person, but we won't go into that yet. But we'll go into that. You get it? But I just want to give you a flat. Like, I want to, you know what I mean? So because the amount of things you've done, you got MA in youth community. Like, come on now, you got a BA in psychology and sociology. Is that right? Yeah. Because I need to double check that.
Yeah.
NLP practitioner. So like that's deep mindset and all that kind of thing. Practitioner. Do you want to read it out? Because you did this. Assessor. So you're assessor for and a verifier. So that means for what? For what does that include?
Qualifications. So when you do an NVQ.
Yeah.
So I teach youth. Well, we did it a few years ago. So I teach youth work and playwork. So I mark your folder, assess your folder to say that you've passed your work or not. Then it goes on to an internal verifier before it gets to the awarding body to give you the qualification.
Do you have to get that updated all the time, or do you can just that's it?
No, you just do your CBT, like update your career development. But once you've done the course, you're an assessor.
That's it. So you got your petals, detals, so you can teach whatever you want to teach and do that. You're a Toastmaster.
Yeah.
So people that don't understand what a Toastmaster, what's a Toastmaster?
So Toastmasters.
No, it's not.
So Toastmasters International is about learning how to do public speaking.
Okay.
So you learn in different areas. So I did that for 4.5 years, and I achieved my DTM, which is the highest recognition in Toastmasters. But you learn how to do. You can pick what you want to. So there's the first manual, which is just about the basics of speaking. So body language, tone of voice, how to use the stage, how to structure a speech. Then you can go into areas that you want to. So I think I'm funny, so I did humorous speaking.
Okay.
Just learn how to tell stories when.
Who told you you're funny?
Everybody does.
So could you teach me or help me in regards to like stage presence and
Public speaking.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I wrote a course. I was doing it with younger people, so I went into schools because what I wanted to do, and something I wanted to bring out this year, is teaching young people how to develop confidence through public speaking, because most people are scared of speaking, and just teaching them also how to debate. So instead of arguing, you learn how to structure your words correctly so that you can debate without getting angry, because sometimes people just get angry because
Emotions,
they can't put their words in properly, so you just shut up, man. Yeah, like, you're just chatting rubbish. So teaching people, so there's tools and tips of how to, I guess, what's the word,
deliver.
Yeah, it's not deliver I'm looking for, but how you deliver your speech to make it most impactful.
100. Alright, so your area director, what's that? Area director of what, fam?
So Toastmasters, part of one of the
so area director, so Toastmasters area director gold award. What's that?
So it's different levels. You go bronze, silver, gold.
So you're gold.
And then distinctive. So
you're not distinctive.
I am.
So why is it gold award then?
So this is the different levels. So I guess when I had gold, that's when I updated it, when I got my gold.
Updated then to
and
put
then
it
now I've got my distinctive.
Wow. So put that. Author. How many books you done?
One.
One book.
No, I've got one book called The Best Help Book, and
Yeah.
HELP stands for Holistic Examples of Learned Practice, and it's all about how we can help young people to develop, because we have to work with young people in a holistic way. So meaning that not just it's about the home, it's not just about school. School is where the biggest place that kids spend the most of the time. They spend, I think, 32 hours or 38 hours at school.
Yeah, like a job.
So they spend a lot of time at school. So that's the second net to pick up young people if there's issues at home or things are going on. It's looking at actually how do we always say, tend to hear people say about there's cuts in youth funding and stuff. Yes, there are cuts. However, the best work doesn't take money. It takes time.
Exactly.
It's listening, talking, and we can do that on our states. Just walking past and saying, "No, you're right. How are you?" Building that relationship, introducing them to something. That's how you help somebody. It's not the trips and the all of that stuff is great, but even when you're on the trips, it's the talking with the young people and building the relationships.
So then, is that more as a community rather than someone that is a professional in that field?
I think anyone could do it. Don't get me wrong, there's certain, you learn about group development, but you're not in that setting when you see them on the street. So it's just about building relationships. So I think his name John Maxwell. He talks about before helping someone, get to know them, touch their heart. That's how you get to help someone truly.
Because they'll allow that help.
Yeah. So we see someone and we think we know what they need, but actually we haven't even heard them. We just see youth on the street and think, they need
come
that.
To our own conclusion.
But it's like, actually, who told you that's what I want? Actually, I might just want to be listened to, and nobody ever actually sits and listens to me. So being a counsellor, that's all you tend to hear, especially with men. Do you know what? People don't listen when you talk. They're talking and then they go on their phone, and it's like people don't actually listen, or their attention span to listen is very small.
It's very...
Wait. So you said, I was about to get onto that bit. So you're author, and then a qualified counsellor now as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff in the grand scheme of it. When you look about all the awards that you've won over the time, that I won't even go into it, but people Google it, like it's peak. It's mad. And then you have your own multi-sector organisation. You have your own. Yeah, how many organisations you got under? How many you got?
I say one, because they all fit into
under
what
the
I
one,
do.
but it's not though. It's not.
What, it's all like under an umbrella.
Yeah, but it's not.
I guess I'm not somebody, but I've got multiple businesses and they're all one. It's about helping people.
You're a serial entrepreneur.
No,
basically.
I am.
Yeah,
Kemi, who helps the community. No, but I'll say one because it's about helping people. That's my main.
Full stop.
And it comes in different forms. So you've got Releasing the Butterfly, empowerment workshops for women.
That's one business.
So then you have the YPM, Young People Matter,
That's
helping
another
children
business.
and young
That's two.
people. Then you've got the counselling service, offering counselling.
Alright, cool.
So where is a lot of that stemmed from? Was that always like your interest from school days?
So if I'm being truthful, a lot of those achievements because I was trying to prove I wasn't a failure.
From who?
From myself. So I went on this path of studying to prove that I was somebody.
Okay.
So sometimes it's...
But where did that come from initially though?
No, as in to validate yourself?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
But it didn't give it to me at the end, so then I stopped.
Yeah, you just keep beating up yourself all the time.
Again?
You just keep beating up yourself. You just keep saying, oh no, you get to a point and you're like, go to another point and it's like,
sometimes we're looking for something that we think's outside. And don't get me wrong, at the time when I'm doing it, I didn't have this knowledge, if that makes sense. It's through going through the counselling and then doing the training. It's like, oh, that's what you was trying to do. So when I didn't get the grade I wanted at my first degree, and I was really upset. So yes, I didn't work extremely hard, but I worked hard. I should have not got that grade. So I think from there, like, I just kept on studying, and I think one of my brother's friend passed away or died, and my friend's boyfriend said to me, "You're one of those people who want £1 million and you'll get it, and then you're gonna want £1 billion." He's like, "You're never gonna be happy." And I went in my car and I started crying. I was just like, it really touched me, and to today it's still, I'm like,
I understand
it rang in my ear, and I think I called my mentor and she said, "Do you know what it is? Since you didn't get that grade, you've just been trying to prove you're not a failure." And from that moment she said that, I stopped studying.
Well,
I had finished my course, but I wasn't like, what's the next course to go on? So everything I'd done, I did do it because I wanted to learn, or the training stuff, because we had a training centre, so I still delivered training, but not as much as that, because that's a whole business in itself. So it was a lot at the time trying to juggle too, but that's all part of training, helping people to develop. So everything I've done, I've wanted to do. It's something that I've had a passion. It's not just, I'll just do this course for
the sake of it.
Yeah, so it's all added to what I do, and who knows where God's going to take me, where it all shows like, this is why you went through this journey. So as much as you did it to prove you wasn't a failure, actually nothing's wasted.
Of course, nothing's been done in vain. But then you've always, because ultimately when I look at most of all that, you've always had a heart for others.
Yeah.
It's been always, although you're saying, I'm trying to prove to myself and so on and so forth, ultimately the end goal was, I want to be able to help someone else through, which is beautiful.
Again, I think that probably came from, my mum's like that, she's very caring for other people. But I guess I got into youth, well, I wanted to be a teacher originally, and I've got dyslexia, so I was like, I can't mark nobody's work. So even in the car, Tracy's daughter's doing her spelling test, I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, some of the words, I'm like, I don't even know that. But so I said, I can't be a teacher because I've got to mark their work. So I'm like, nah. So I went into youth work, and then I ended up back into teaching through the training centre. So I'm like, the way sometimes you're trying to get out of something was redirected back to, actually, I mark people's work, and I'll be like, that spelling's not correct. And I laugh myself, I'm like, I'm telling somebody about their spelling. But yeah, so that's how that kind of got there. But I think it's always growing up. I didn't, like, my mum worked a lot. This is a conversation we've been having this week, not with my mum. And
you've been nice to her this week though, because you've been a bit horrible over that. I've been watching what you've been doing online, and I don't like the way you've been treating your mum.
She finds it funny.
No, it's not funny. It's not. Don't do it no more. I just don't like it.
It's like entertainment.
No,
Don't make
it's funny
though.
It's funny, no, but it's you are. You know, like some people, that means it shows that you have a good relationship with your mum if you're able to.
No, she would laugh at it. Sometimes I'm not doing it and be like, oh, stop it, what you did.
No, I'm like, you and your mum. It's like, bro, the way you kept. We would have took a slipper and warm up the belt, you see.
No, I can see their eyes like, keep playing. I'll be like, the camera's on you. So my mum worked a lot, so I call it latchkey kid, but I think I said it the other day.
Call it what, sorry?
Latchkey kid. Really, just on the road.
Yeah, where you just let yourself in.
So you could do what you want to do. And I guess probably as I was growing up, I didn't want young people to experience some of the things that I experienced, and I wanted them to feel heard and listened to, and I guess I probably saw the effects that certain situations had on my life. Maybe at the time I thought it was great, like who doesn't want no one to take care of me? I can do what I want to do, eat what I want to do. But now as an adult, I can see how some of that's played out or plays out in my life, because it's called presenting passes. So our past presents itself in the present. So I'm not someone who necessarily likes to talk about how I feel.
Okay.
So maybe I'm saying more now, but before you wouldn't get none of that out of me. Like, it'd be very like, no. As even my counsellor said to me today, she's like, who you came through the first door, like, probably.
Oh, did she see the difference? She's seen a difference.
Yeah, she said how you came to who you are now, but even in the last few months, how you are, but there's this difference in you. So you came in, because I'm at this path of, I'm reading a lot around, like, The Power of Now, The Secret, what the one I just finished, I can't remember the name of it, I just finished it, but it's all about just being in the present and understanding how we look at life and how we make meaning to stuff that causes us pain. So it's like if I came in there now and I didn't say hello to you, you'll have and have this whole story going off in your head when it could have been that, actually I said it, you didn't hear it, or do you know what, my mind was somewhere, but you make all these meanings based on what people do. So I'm just at this place of being like, I just want to be authentic. So I even said to her, I said, I'm doing this podcast and you know, I just want to be authentic. I just want to be true, not show up who I think people want me to be. So trying to be funny.
Like,
I just want to be.
Because you're not funny. Like.
I am funny. I'm rude, but I'm inappropriate funny. Not everyone likes it.
I know.
I'm a one-hit wonder.
I know, man.
But yeah, just being authentic.
So how long have you been seeing this particular counsellor?
Been seeing her for, it's felt like we're in a relationship, about 6-7 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
we've had falling outs, I've gone elsewhere, but I think because I've built a relationship with her, she knows me, whereas going with the new person, like, you've got to go through that
Start
whole
again.
process. It's like being in a relationship with someone, it's like, you've got to go through that whole process
I'm
again.
just like,
So my the one I'm with now, she's very good, but she's very boundaried, and I hated it.
okay.
But it's because I had lack of boundaries at home, so I hate boundaries. Then I went to this other woman. She had no boundaries, which is a bit like... Yeah, like you're a bit too familiar, a bit too comfortable. So it was like, actually, maybe, you know, I needed that boundary to give me boundaries. So even in my counselling practice now, I can see where sometimes if you don't hold those boundaries...
People will just
take...
take liberties.
The time.
Yeah.
Not the last sentence, like, oh yeah, time's up now. I'll be like...
Yo,
I could be morning. And you're like,
I need some more.
So the grand scheme, because it's mad how you're still 6 years you've been doing that. No, not many people probably know that or whatever kind of thing, but the amount of in the 1% that you've done for myself, I know you do that for a lot of people. My whole thing I was meant to do, I was meant to go around and get a whole load of people that have a connection with you and get them to send in like different things. But I think it would just be a bit overwhelming. I know it would be a bit mad, and I couldn't coordinate it in that sense. And I just thought, but she knows, I don't have to do it because you knew from the Christmas present, you just know in it,
really nice.
You know what I'm saying. But I didn't have a second thought about it. It's not, as soon as Letitia said, boom, I was like, it's nothing, innit? How much more do you? If they're not putting in, it's a madness. Who do I need to bad up? So I just want to talk. I don't want to break it all down, but the way you've helped myself is mad. And then I think, but you're still healing yourself and doing whatever. But you're doing all this for these people, and these are big people, small people, young, all type of ages. And I'm thinking, and I was thinking, I have to just sit there for that. Where I am now, I have to sit there and say, I have to give you your flowers for that, for what you've done. The time when I was just at my darkest times, and like you said, come, and we went revolutions, like, and I'll never forget it, like you Tracy, like, and you didn't have to do all that, like I didn't know you'd finished the whole shift dealing with them youths. And I know how it is, and not the youths, the staff members. No disrespect to all of them, I love them all, but some of them. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so and then whatever else in your life you're dealing with, and you said no, I need, and that's how you are, like, and that's that has also, and then give me the opportunity for even managing a branch in Crawford, like that alone was like, like. As much as I've been a manager, but young, like the responsibility you gave me, like let me to be free, to be me. Your managerial skills was beyond anything I've ever experienced before, because you allowed me to be me, but at the same time you knew what was what, and you just let get the best out of me. And I was like, who's this kind of? That don't make no sense. Some people fight against that, like some people have, but I nurtured it in a certain way. I'd able, and we just being good friends after that. And then but that's like 1% of all the people that I could probably go. If I went through my phone, it was a lot. When I was going through it, it's like, this would be a lot, and I don't think I'll want to put her in that position to do that. I don't know. No, I know. I didn't want to do that, because I know how I feel with that, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? But I just want to say, thank you for being the person you are and for what you do, because in its grand scheme of it, it's massive. If people can turn around, when people say like, I tell them, this is exactly what I tell them. She's my mentor. Yep. Even though you don't know that most of the time, because you mentored me for a hot minute. You've done things, you've given me tools, you've given me abilities beyond anything. And you've been for a long time, be my mentor. I can go and look at things she does and listen to what you do on your lives or whatever you do with videos, and I'll just take that and go work with it. There's many tools you've given me that I've still got to date, that I still work with. There's many of things you said to me that I've come back to Shannon and said, she's telling me I'm running from things and that. What's she doing? What's she doing? You know, I'm just giving that example. You get
No,
me? That
but
I
to
do
be
too.
fair, like
the father's hugging.
Oh yeah, the hug. Yeah, she goes, no, this guy hugged.
No, you
that,
had to see.
What's his name? What's his name? What was his name?
Stanley Brown.
I'm still reading this book. Yeah, it's a
Brown with
good
the
book.
E.
I'm loving the book. It's actually love the book, so I'm working
the
through
little
it.
child.
Yeah, I do my little bit and read as much as I can. But he hugged me. He's hugging everybody. I was like, why is he hugging? But he's doing proper hugs.
Yeah.
It's like, come here, give it a hug. And she's like, you want?
is he
that?
quite big?
I don't know. He wasn't
Do you know,
deep,
it's just
like-
in the embrace.
the
Like,
way he
like,
does
that's
it is a proper.
No, but his head was all like leaning
And I'm
in,
like, this is a bit weird. Like, but I embraced it. But then this big head here, like, you needed that, innit? And I'm like, and in my head I'm like, no. But in my head I'm like, yeah, probably.
I
I
mean, you
did,
can
you
see
know?
it wasn't just a.
For my man, even my son just did it a while ago. Dad, come here, bring it in, Dad, bring it in. Come on, Dad. I'll hug you often, but yeah, come on. And I was like, alright. It's weird, you know that something. From a male perspective, it's like, what is that?
But it does a lot.
Because sometimes you can have a hug, like my friend's mum, and she, like, I was going to her house and was just talking with her. She went to hug me, but you know, it's that hug where you just break down.
Yeah.
It's like you needed it,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm that person. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. And she just sometimes she'd be like, just come here, and I'd be like, and it's just all, but it's not that hug that's like, oh yeah, okay, but it's that.
Yeah.
It's like I saw it in your eyes.
No, you punk.
I saw
No,
that
when I-
picture. You can
but-
put it on here. You can ask them.
No, but then
Look at this picture. Does it not look like he enjoyed that hug?
Oh, you got a picture of it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, happy days. But well,
It's like
talking
a
of
child,
hugs, like that's how you and I got connected. But no, so I know Kemi through you, but not the only one, but out of maybe a handful of friends that I've met or known from you, she is one of those that if I needed to reach out to someone concerning you, she would be up there. Or maybe not even just concerning you.
That's what I was saying, fam.
But-
I was like, wow.
But no, but in the
But
sense
yeah,
of
okay,
that,
but yeah.
I know the level of, I guess, respect that you have towards her love and care.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I know that if for whatever reason I just needed someone else just to kind of put their own spin on things, I would feel safe, you know what I mean, to go to Kemi. That's definitely, yeah.
He's doing anything to call me.
That's a lot. Hey, allow that. Why for that? But now, going off you as a person and what you're doing and what you're achieving, the title, After the Flowers, now, this is where the main thing I wanted to kind of, Sam was talking about earlier, and she got questions around it. It was seeing the apple in the seed. Now, I love that title. Like, I love the way you put it, but I'd like you to kind of like, I want to wrap up because we're going through a lot of times now. That's why I asked you to Shan's she's gonna be our official sponsor. Like, come on now. So, you know, it's gonna be, so cancelling sessions. You know, they're not free though, but you're free to talk. But you're gonna don't want that. But no, we want to build that community where people can actually reach out. There is a service there. I know it works. I've had young people go to it and it's been amazing. People, I know I can do that, and it's not just her. She's got a team. So my thing, the seeing the apple in the seed. That's what I want to work on.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Seeing the apple in the seed is seeing the potential before it is what it is.
Right, break that down, man.
So you see a seed, or you have a vision, like you want to, I don't know, so I want to be an international speaker, travel the world, work with kids all over abroad. That is the seed or the vision. But seeing it before it's even come
to
about,
fruition.
so knowing the potential that somebody has. So we look at a young person, for example, and you might be like, I know what path they're going down with that kind of behaviour. So you're seeing a seed or seeing what you're seeing and I guess speaking over their life of where they're going to go to, but actually seeing that potential before it's actually hit. So it's like when you've got River and being like, she's going to be a whatever you say, and then it comes to light and you're like, you saw it in her before it even became
a reality.
So you hear people like, I'm trying to think of someone, but you know, like some of the footballers or creative, those people in that kind of field, and people be like, oh no, I always knew there was going to be something. So Beyonce's mum, for example, could have said, I knew my daughter's going to be this big international star. Sometimes people start to believe their journey while they're on it. But some people, they just know, I'm going to do this and that's
Like,
what I'm going to do. Like, I know I'm going to have this thing.
Is that also for people, for themselves, would you say? Or are you saying it...
You could see it in seed form and believe that I'm going to do this. So I always had this idea, like, I've still got the book, like the paperwork, where I drew out my youth club, what I'm going to have, and I was 17. I started my first business when I was 22. So I had that drive, like I said, I remember I look like a little girl now, but even, just imagine then, you know people say that.
Gas,
no,
gas,
I look young.
Gas.
So not a little girl, but I look young. Listen, I could go on the bus. If I want to get on the bus, they won't let me at that age. But if I was to buy alcohol, it's like I get questions sometimes, you know. Don't look past 25.
Gas.
But I had that I had that drive. Like, no, I'm gonna do this. There was no doors that I couldn't see doors closed. Whereas now, starting different things, I'll be like, a bit more risk. Like, okay. Then I was mad driven. Like, there was nothing. I didn't see obstacles in my way. If that makes sense. Whereas now I could see a bit of hostility.
What was that? Because someone saw the seed in you, or you're talking about that you saw the seed in yourself?
I think I saw the seed in myself, but also throughout my life, I've always borrowed the belief that other people had in me till I believed it in myself.
Start again. Pull up, select the inside block, right?
So sometimes we have to borrow other people's beliefs in us until we start to believe in ourselves. Because sometimes you'll see someone and you could be like, you're really good, you're really talented, and you'll be like, no, I don't think so. But then it's that little belief. So, give you an example. I'm not saying I can't cook here, but at uni I used to be the cooker. But over the years, I don't.
No, you can cook. You can cook. No, you done the Christmas dinner thing. That was kind of try, but it was alright. Do you get me?
I didn't cook the Christmas dinner.
You didn't cook the Christmas dinner. You cooked the
No,
Christmas dinner.
Letitia cooked. I'm joking. No, I just did the veg and stuff. But so I've been cooking at work for the last three months. But
to prove to people though.
No, I just started cooking. So instead of us going McDonald's every day,
come on now, it makes sense.
Just to eat healthy. Yeah. But since like you'd be like, especially when I was sitting, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not saying nothing. Like, did you like the food?
Okay, yeah. Some kind of recognition.
That's the.
They'll be like, no, but we're quiet. We're eating. That means we must
that
like it. But as more's going on, they'll be like, well, Kemi, for someone who don't cook, it's nice. It gives you that like, oh, let me try something. But it gives you that confidence. Like, okay, I'm back on my groove of cooking. Like, so I remember I cooked for someone before, and I was like, oh my god, this boy must think I can't cook. But it's like, you know, it all comes out wrong. So that belief of them saying, oh, Kems, you're gonna cook, or oh, you're not cooking. That gives you that belief in your cooking abilities, that it keeps you going and going and going. It's just like if you sung a song and everyone was like, unless you believed in your gift, you're not going to continue singing. That's going to be like, oh, every gig I go to, no one don't laugh.
Yeah, I'm not going to put myself through that.
Yeah, and you would stop. Unless you had that belief, like, I think I'm good.
Full stop.
You're going to stop. But it's people's belief in you that sometimes gives you that belief or helps to grow that belief you have in yourself.
Yeah, it's like faith, right? Because sometimes it's only so far that it will take you, as in using someone else's faith, but take it as far as you can until you build up your own faith.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then you continue on.
In the grand scheme of what's going on in society now, because I believe this year is going to be a hard year. Good year and hard at the same time. In my grand scheme, and in terms of everything, because there's still going to be great opportunities out there, but it's going to come at a cost. Sacrifice and all these kind of things, and way society is moving. I'm not going to talk about government, I'm just talking about society itself. That apple and the seed and the apple, I just see it as when you said you done that video 4 years ago. Do you remember it? You done it 4 years ago, and I'm thinking you're ahead of your time, but at the same time, everything you probably weren't ahead of your time, but at the same time, you think you're definitely a futuristic person, that you're thinking these are things that you can use all the time. Everything you've probably said over the time to me and given me tools can always be used.
Still relevant.
Yeah, it's like there's no expiry date on it. And that one day I was like, that one stood out. Like everything else didn't matter to me after that. I was like, nah, I don't want to hear nothing else what she's saying in terms of this is what I want to bring to the table, because it's just, but it's because you've done that with the young people to the point of where you've seen the bad and good, the young people that have fallen out, young people that you've tried to help. Like we can't even. I did tried to put a percentage on the amount of young people I've helped. Yeah, I tried to put a percentage, but you can't because
then you're basically cutting off their expiry.
Nah, yeah, I did do that. How many
done
people?
Something to one young person who did it
Only
to somebody
now.
else, which is still
There's still a
triggering
ripple
on.
effect somewhere.
Only now I'm learning that now.
And
innit?
half the time you may not even see the end
fruits,
result or what have you.
That-
But ultimately, I feel like when you're doing things from a place of selflessness and your heart is in it, you don't always need to see it. Just trust that whatever you done was what you were meant to do, and that is it. Like if it comes back, through the grapevine or what have you, then great. But if it's that you're always searching for, I want to find out, if what I did, served a purpose or thing, then that comes more like ego and more about self rather than.
No, I get it because as with teaching, we have to measure everything, innit? So we have 30 students. They want all these students to pass. So we've got to go through a procedure. I got programming that element like, all right, how many succeeded, how many didn't? And I started looking at the grand scheme of it. How many young people have I helped over the years and time? And then
every single one of those, no matter how small or insignificant it
that's
may
what
be.
it is.
But you're not going by the same measure because how schools measure success, we're talking about like real life. You know what I mean? And success is, you can't really measure that.
And like you said, you don't know when the fruits will blossom.
Well, it actually will, yeah.
You could have said a statement to a
adult.
boy in year 8, and when he's 30, that statement he remembers like, wow, I remember that person said that to me, and it's changed. That's when it kicks in and it changed. Remember the teacher appears when the student is ready.
I love when she said that, When I learned that the other day at your event,
Oh,
I was like, what is this?
Nafisa said it.
Nah, before that, Fisa said it on that
when
that pod, but the first time I heard it was at Kemi's event. Yeah. Can't remember who said it, but it wasn't you that said it.
I said it's the same, but they'll appear when you're ready. So I read The Power of Now. I've had that book for years.
Okay.
I weren't ready for that book.
Okay.
My mentor in uni gave me a book called Approval Addiction, and it even said don't take it offensive. I said, right. I ain't reading that. But then probably 10 years later I picked it up and I was like, I wish I had read it back then because it made sense. But maybe if I had read it back then, I would have read it through a different lens. Whereas now with the knowledge I have and the way I see life, I'm like, oh, actually, you know what? Sometimes in the book, what stood out to me, what I always remember, it said, sometimes we say, oh, I don't want to tell somebody something because I don't want to offend them. I said, no, you don't like the feeling it causes you when you say it to somebody. And it talked about setting boundaries and why we can get addicted to approval of people. So sometimes it's about, like you said, about the intention behind why we do what we do. So it's not about, oh, I can help millions of young people, but you wouldn't. It's not. I don't help them to be like, you're going to come back and you're going to be something. Or yes, you feel proud when they come back, or you see a change, or they say, oh, miss, you didn't know, you did this or A, B, and C, and sometimes you don't even know the effects you have on people's lives until when they're older. Like it's beautiful that like our young people come back about, oh, do you remember, miss, when this happened and you was there, like A, B, and C, and you're like, wow.
That's what I was saying. Remember we went to go watch Mandela at the and literally I was sitting. One side is Matthew, the mum, and the next one was YPM. All YPM, all young people, all mums and young people that I've been helping over there, and you just forget how much an impact that I had at that particular time. And I just want to obviously I'll say thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the work there. But how are you finding it in terms of the young people that we're dealing with at this particular time? Like obviously they've evolved over time and they're changing. Like what process have you put in place to kind of like to try and help the process? Because it ain't just the young people, it's the parents as well. It's the parents. Don't forget about the parents.
I guess what we started off because young people matter, but we now work. A lot of our attention probably goes into the children. But I think that has a better benefit, not better, that's the wrong word, but it's good for the prevention side. Okay. So we can have someone from 4 now till you're 18 and have that long-term relationship and watch you grow and implement things into their lives. Whereas if you get them at 16, they're kind of not stuck in the way, but they have their ways and you're trying to undo things sometimes when you've got them this way, you can have it influence, you can see where they go. You've built a relationship with their family, they've built a relationship with you where there's that level of respect. Because I've got some young people will be like, no, they're bad, you can't talk to them. And I'll be like, bro, stop doing that. And you listen and then you'd be like, well, how's it? But it's relationship.
It is.
So I guess the young people now, yes, they are different, but everything goes back personally for me about relationships, like building relationships with young people before you try to help them. Get to know them.
So yes, that's what you're saying. So more than what, connection, respect,
meeting them
and
where they are
honesty,
at.
yeah.
Because sometimes we want them to be here, but you're not even meeting them at their level. Like, actually, where are you? What's your views on life? How do you... Don't get me wrong, they can get on your nerves sometimes. You don't want to be helped. Just do what you want to do, yeah? When you're ready, come... They're not easy to deal with sometimes. Sometimes they can be rude or don't turn up and you can get frustrated. So I'm not saying it's like, oh yes, it's always roses and you're always ready to receive them. But I think building relationships with them, because then I could be like, you're not going to turn up. You really don't want that. So what happened is I'll do it for you
until...
No, but I'll be doing it, and then realise I'm just giving you a crutch.
Okay.
You're never going to learn how to do it yourself because you've always been fed.
Yeah.
So you don't know how to pick up the fork. But when I say, look, there's the fork, you need to pick it up. I'm going to help you along the way, but you have to do the work. So I think it's just building relationships with young people and not giving up on them. No matter
yeah, but you have to
bad.
give up on these youths, man. Some of them are jarring, man. They're long, man.
All right.
And the parents as well, and then
no, but it might be the level you can take them.
Yeah.
Remember, we can't say your part might just be to do this, and someone else is going to come along and do this, and then someone else is going to come along and do that. So I think we all can play a part in helping young people, but not, like sometimes everyone's fed up. Okay, they're going crying, enough come, and it is bad. I started YPM because of that. At the top of my road, a young person was murdered, and that week 5 young people were killed, and it was like, and back then you'd open a newspaper and it would be like so shocking. Now you're like, oh, someone's that, like, you become desensitized to,
unfortunately,
and it's sad that it's come to even young people. So it's like, actually, how do we get into their mindset? So okay, there's work to do with the older kids, but there's work to do with the young kids to deter that pattern or cycle from happening. And actually really getting young people to value life. Learn how to communicate. Learning to build it, be in a community. So where we've got different sites and we have our like football matches or the trips, that gets them to mix with kids from other areas. You make friends. So actually when you get to secondary school, I know you from over there. Do you know what I mean? So you built those relationships, you're crossing over to other sites, whereas now it'd be like, people are like, oh, my young people don't leave here. Like, this is their... They can't take them just any and anywhere. And part of people wouldn't want to, because if anything happened, I will feel guilty. Yeah. Like, it's not my fault, but...
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's about actually how do we start to get into their mindset and stopping these ones from doing that, and then how do we educate these guys, like, from wanting to live that life? What can we put out there that gets them to start thinking? But remember, that's a collective mindset. So it's difficult to get one person out. So I was watching this movie, can't remember the name, I've been watching the YouTube videos, and this guy's come out of prison, he's got a job that he has to deliver food. This woman's got a grandson, but he's trying to get into this gang.
Okay.
But really he has plans, he draws, he has all these things he does, but outside he becomes this different person. Now, if you live in an estate, how can you walk past and be
in that jungle?
I can't remember.
Sounds like jungle. Sounds like the jungle. That jungle thing.
But the man ended up basically got the boy out the gang, but then they said he's got to take 2 bodies to leave. So the man, but they beat him up, and then the man came downstairs and said, "There was 2 bodies. Okay, book. Killed 3 of them. I'll give you 3." And killed them, and then sat and waited for the police. So he gave up his life, going back to prison for the little boy so he can come out of the gang.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I just want to watch it again because I was, just watching something, just not really paying attention.
No, we need to.
I need to.
And
watch
even
that
the
one.
books that you've mentioned as well.
That was a really good. Like, it just shows you, like, and that's how it is for young people. Remember, when we're in here, we're one person, and then we go out there, and even us as adults, we do it like we have to live up to.
That's that other little short film as well. There's one on YouTube just like that where little boy comes and he's walking like, yeah, what you saying?
But
at home he's a posh. Hi mum, you're right. But at school he's like, yeah, what you saying? And they find out, you get what I'm saying, and it goes left for him. But he didn't need to be like that. He didn't need to try and act or fit in like that.
But it's easier to fit in than to be different.
That's the next thing.
And we're not taught to be.
Why is young people? Yeah, that's the next thing. What can we do more? Because I always struggled with that with children in school. Even with our home, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being different. I know, but there's not. I always like that child that would be that one that will put their hand up or want to stand out. Don't want to be like the rest. Do you get what I'm saying? But most of them, I keep saying to them, every classroom of children I had here, they're all mirrored each other. So I have one classroom. I always have a Tyler. There'll always be another Tyler. There'll always be another Karen.
Every class has the
me?
chatterbox.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Container.
Yeah.
And I know which one you were going to try and be, yes.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
something
mad.
in it, like, I want to do a PhD, not yet, I think after I have kids, but...
Let's talk about that now, JK.
No.
Wait, are you? How old are you? Not like what ball? Because
I'm
you have the
38, 5'5", okay, no, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, 'cause you did 40 minus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last birthday, right?
Though my cake said
Okay.
37 and my mum's present said 40.
Oh, is it?
My
Acha.
mum had 3 parcels that said 40 because she gave the invitation to the people and they saw 40 in it.
Daisy
Mum,
couldn't.
man.
Yeah. Well, where did that come from? 40 minus 2. Well, that's
Fancy
just
this-
being.
Yeah, being creative.
But no, what I was gonna say in regards to like working with all these different young people and whatnot. What would you say one of your virtues is patience?
Not always, no.
Okay.
I think I could be patient at work. My natural character depends. Like I was doing something the other day and I was like, Tracy, I had to comb out this thing. I said, basically, I put my wig in the tumble dryer.
Is it? Can you do that?
No, would not advise you. But it tangled.
But why do you do that? Why do you do that?
Because I needed it quickly. So,
What rather than what blow drying it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. On its own.
No, I put it in the pillowcase, but it came out.
What happened to it?
It was just
Have you ever like just like a big dread, like the end, like the back part was all straight, but where the lace was, it was just like a big ball. So I'm like, Chase, like, I'll bring it and I'll do it for you. Chase, yeah, I don't think I can. So then I said I sat down and I started doing it, but I was surprised that I went through the whole process. I'd be like, no, this is long to dash it away.
Dash it away. That's what I thought you were going to say.
But I was like, I actually did it. So
Okay.
like untangling chains or no, I don't want to straight away. I'm not patient with those little. I just want to do things quickly. So with young people, yes, because it's your professional role as well. You can't just switch on.
You learn that over time, innit? In much of the day, they can take your pick, like.
You can go out the room after and be like, oh, that's so rude.
But,
Don't get me wrong, there's times when I've probably not lost it, but answered back, like, now who are you talking to? Like, it ain't me.
Come
like,
go to the park, innit, and come talk about
no, not like that. But
Oh, see,
not
you've
necessarily
done
with
that.
young people, but sometimes with parents, where you could be like, some of you are really rude, and there's no need. But then you realise actually, do you know what? Hurt people, and sometimes people are angry and they want to blame you, and we don't have to take it on.
Don't have to.
Because sometimes a parent will come in, or anyone could come in with this negative energy, then you take it on.
Yeah.
We don't have to take on that energy. You can learn the ability to be like, that's yours. That ain't mine.
What's been your best moments like? I don't want to talk about the negative things.
My best
I'd love
moments?
to know what your best moments of doing with working with young people and their parents as well. Like there must be one moment where you thought, you know what? Because you do the most. Like she has these Christmas parties. Yeah. Now I just give a little small. Not even that. The community
That
dinner
was a
thing.
good moment. I had
like,
a tingly feeling on that day.
Which one?
Well, I'm not singing, yeah.
Don't sing again. Don't sing again. Right for that. But the community one.
Yeah, I had a tingle.
What?
Meaning I get. So usually I do things and I just do it. It's just okay.
No, break it down first. The big community is a big community dinner, and I'm talking like there was a good 100 and something people there, easily, kids, adult of all ages, all creed, colour, and you fed a lot of them.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Who does that, fam? Like, and then you had Santa there. Obviously, I was a little late, but then you had to be Santa, but it's minor. You had photographers. You had everything. DJ. It was a sturdy dance off. Like, it was mad.
So is that a yearly thing? Or?
No,
You know, we just done it this year for the first time, but we would continue to do it. So even a good moment, I say, when me and Tracy, because of COVID, usually we have Christmas at our thing and we have Santa Claus give the kids presents. So last year, so not last year, 2022, 2021, because of COVID, we went out and delivered all the presents.
Okay.
But we dressed up to Santa and was just playing tunes in the car. So this year, like last year, we decorated the car with lights, Santa ears, reindeer, big bow. We were driving down the road and like giving out presents from the window because the kids are just looking. But that was nice because like people just gave that cheer of Christmas.
I want
and
to
just
get involved this
giving.
year.
That's that. I wanted to get the van, decorate the van, and instead of you park up, people walk on the van and they have the different. You just pick the presents from the seats. So it's like you go in the van, it's all decorated, and you go into the van. So like, this year do it even bigger and better. So it's just a thing of
love that.
kind of like the cheer.
So what was the tingly? What was that tingly feeling? Sorry.
I can't explain it. It's just like.
But which part? When was it? The end? During?
No, I think when I was just on the stage and I just looked, I was like.
The One Love thing. Because when the kids were singing it, like, they were properly singing, like, wow.
The boys like, yes, get together.
Yeah, the hood youths say, they're not hood youths, but you know the youths that you just like, you don't know this tune, bro. Don't try it.
And they were singing it. I didn't even know the words.
Word for
like,
word.
I don't know. And they're like,
word for word.
But that was, I don't know, I just got this overwhelming
okay.
feel, like a nice, like, wow, yeah, this came how you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice. And it served its purpose. Like, you can see that people enjoyed it, apart from not giving the older people bingo.
I know they were upset with that, but they didn't care. They were good though.
What, they're expecting it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play bingo all the time.
Man. Come on, man. They love a
Because we
bingo.
was running a bit behind time,
Yeah.
and the guy who had it, I said, oh, you might as well take it when you're going. But he's like, I'll leave it. I was like, oh, you might as well just take it, because I don't want to be responsible for now to be like, we've got to package it and take it. So I was like, oh, you might as well take it. But no, that was really nice. And the Christmas going out, giving the presents, and the kids getting excited. Like, you know, some kids really believe in Santa. So it's nice when, you know, you're like, oh yeah, Santa sent me out. Here you go. Here's some little. Like, I had this little sprinkle dust, because last year Tracy like, here's some sprinkle dust, just pretending. So this year I've got the sprinkle dust. I'm like, here's the sprinkle dust. Woo! That's nice.
That. Where do you get most of the energy from to do all that? Because I'm not gonna. I was telling Shannon the stories of how I'll go into a classroom, or they start the work the day I have to ride in. Don't take the car because you get stressed with that, because traffic or whatever. I start getting a bit irritated, or I'll ride in, so that helps me kind of loosen up a bit. Boom, I might go gym before the morning. And I listen to drum and bass music in the morning to get
the loudness,
yeah, because and as soon as I get in, it could be the energy will go within 10 minutes most of the time, because they can drain you. People will drain you. Like, how do you keep the energy going? Like, and
do you know my secret? Yeah, I don't do face-to-face work. Listen, when I had to cover for Tracy this summer, I said, you don't work hard.
That's why you're good at the Christmas thing. Like, yeah, well done, you lot.
Yeah, it's a no. I used to do face to face,
Yeah.
but it is a long day on your feet, entertaining lots of different kids. But coming in now and doing a little piece, I can give you that energy.
It makes
and
sense.
then come out, then I'll be drained. But it's like it's like having someone's child. You can play, you know, like someone comes in there, play with them lots. You're like, I can't do that every day.
That's the question you were gonna ask, innit? That's the question you were gonna go down,
as
innit?
in, oh yeah, I can't remember how I was gonna word it.
Because you said
but like, yeah, because you're not a mother yet, but then working with so many different children or other people's children.
Does it make me want to have kids? No, I'm joking.
What, is it a deterrent?
Is it a deterrent?
Good point. Because you got every age. You know every age group. Teenager, toddler, baby.
It makes you think about the importance of raising a child.
Okay.
Not just having a child. I think some people don't raise their children, and the impact that can have. So it does make you think, like, I don't want to speak about it. Everyone will say my child can be naughty because I let you get away with it. They'll be there, oh, it's my mum owns hair, so you can't tell me nothing. And I would find that stuff funny. No, sometimes
I can imagine that though. No, I can see it though. No, who are you talking to? Mum.
No, but I wouldn't stick up for them that way.
Yeah.
But I can see. But it doesn't deter me. But I think I want to have children in the right setup.
Okay.
So I don't want to raise a child by myself. That's one of the reasons why I didn't have children. And also, I just want to raise children in a loving family. So I'm not saying that I would. If I didn't have kids, I don't know how I'd feel. If that makes sense. I'm not in that. I want a child. I want a child. Or, but I don't know if it's like, okay, your eggs are frozen now. I mean, fried. You can't.
No. All right. So
I
you've
don't
not
know.
got to a place where it's just like, I'm not having children.
I'm not at that place.
Not at that
No.
place. Okay.
So I would want to have kids, but in the right setup. So as I said, if I've got older, it's like, this ain't gonna happen. I don't think I'd be upset and really sad. Like, so I want to give the child the best that they can. So I grew up without my dad, and I didn't like that. And then you grew up with daddy issues, or like not knowing a man is the first person, or your dad's supposed to be the first man to teach you unconditional love. So if you don't have that, then you see girls going out searching for stuff, or you don't have that,
and boyfriends and what have you.
So I'm not saying that a mother or a father can't raise their children without having a man and a woman there. But I think I'd rather, because I've gotten to this age, it's like, why did you wait this long? Like, to end up in that. I can't predict the outcome, but at least I know the setup was correct. I weren't just
having
someone's
a child
link
for the sake
and then
of
you had a
having
child,
a
and
child.
then now you're every other weekend. Like, no.
Yeah. No, like I've met someone not long ago, and she is at a stage where I believe she's about my age. So I think she's like 42, and she's got no children, but she's at a point where she'll have a child for the sake of having a child.
And that's what I don't want to get to.
Yeah, so literally it doesn't matter about the situation, the circumstance or anything. It's just like, I just want to have a child. And it's not a great place to be in, because you're not really thinking about the child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is going to become. So I totally get that. And, you know what I mean, you've got time.
I think it's easier in my set of group because all of us don't have babies. There's a few who have babies, but it's not the majority. So it's not, you know, like some people like every time you say, "Oh, do you want kids?" My friendship group,
It's
we don't have kids.
But then from an African family, because they
my
sometimes
mum still gets to go out, no babysitting. She is me.
But she
doesn't really say nothing, you know.
doesn't.
No.
Okay,
She doesn't really say anything.
that's amazing.
I didn't grow up like saying, "Oh, when you're having kids."
Yeah.
They went from study, no boys. Then you finish studying, masters. Oh, so when do you think he's gonna pop from the sky? Like, but yeah, she hasn't really pushed.
Put any.
Probably more like, oh, get married, but not like it's not a push.
Yeah.
But I've grown up like you get married, then you have children, so that's
Which
always
is
been
good.
the way. I think I'll probably now might be a bit more lenient on my standards or the things I want, which I don't want to be. But then that's what I said. Age starts clock's ticking.
Does he have to drive?
Doesn't have to, but I prefer. I don't want to pick someone.
No, which one left? You got none of this.
Does he have to drive? As in what? He can't drive.
No,
or just don't
no.
have a car right now.
Oh no! Wait! Oh, that's the next bit, innit? That does he have to have a car?
Doesn't have to have any. Doesn't have to have a car. Would I prefer him to have a car? Yes.
Then you want him to have a car, then,
No,
innit?
it's a preference.
But that doesn't discount him.
So if man,
You meet him. Do you have a car? How many kids do
But
you
man is
have?
poor.
How many baby mums?
alright, kids.
Mothers of children.
Man with kids, then.
I prefer a man with no kids because I can't do the mother of the children drama. However, my age, there are guys, but there's not many guys who do not have
Slim
kids.
pickings and that.
Yeah, but I
Man
don't
just
think
turn
I'm
up on his oyster, you know, like that's mad. You'd be happy with that, yeah.
oyster.
You know, like beep.
No,
There's a
probably
car.
can't
I
be
won't be
what,
going
an
on
No, it's not
Uber?
oyster card. No, it's not oyster, is it? It's
Yes,
tap
it
your
is.
deep. Is it oyster?
You
still?
can have oyster still.
But I wouldn't be getting on the bus, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you gonna be driving him around.
Man comes with electric scooter.
You driving him around or picking him up? Like, oh no.
But then I like a man.
So that's definitely a no-no for you, like 100%.
I prefer, you know, I don't like picking people up, but
It's mad, innit? It's weird,
you
innit?
don't feel because you're meant to be like
it's weird.
You jump in the car, not babes, get in.
So what things have you actually said?
That though.
You said you load.
No, not like low in terms of.
Expectation.
I don't know if I want to put, but you know, you might be like, okay, maybe I don't have to be married before we have the baby, but
Okay.
right set like that, not
Okay.
like low in.
But alright, even if that is the case, make sure that there is intention there.
Oh yeah, no, but you
Yeah.
know, like, okay, we look at it. My time, I'm 38, yeah. So if I meet someone, I want to at least be with you for 2-3 years. That's going on 41 now. Like, so unless the wedding's coming, and I want to get to know you. I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? I want to get to know you first. But this is all in my
Right,
head.
it could be
innit?
someone
How
that you already know,
could be.
but maybe not on an intimate level, but you already have a familiarity or a friendship. Alright, so 2-3 years, married?
No, just time, just
Baby.
getting to know. No, I don't really want, because remember, baby.
Get to know, 2-3 years to get to know. So then where's the...
That's what I'm saying. So then the baby
Okay.
might have to come, like, but then the wedding's going to take about a year and a half to plan. Like,
What?
No, it has to be. No, I'm joking. But like, I've got a whole book, you want to see it? The dress, everything's picked already. No, but
Okay, alright. So
I want to get to know somebody
Yeah.
and properly and enjoy holidays,
Yeah.
doing that before a child comes in, and they have to be at home. Unless we get a good nanny.
So you're talking about then 43, 44?
Yeah.
Oh, you're calculating. They're putting the pressure on those.
No, it's not. Well,
Because
look,
it's not like you met the guy today. It's gonna walk out. Do you get me? It's like it could be any time. Could be at 43.
No, as I said, just meet. If you meet
It's
somebody,
mad if you meet.
and then
Yeah,
you've got to have
yeah.
that courtship, and then
also if they want to have a child, or if they have a child,
but they don't want kids, and they're not for me.
that's just not okay. That's
Yeah,
full
that's
stop.
it.
But
That's
then
it.
what if you meet them at, let's say, 44, and then
Do
you're
not
not
speak
interested?
that one on my life. 44,
I know,
you know.
tie that
45
up,
should be
innit?
married.
No,
kids,
tie
building.
that. Yeah, that's mad.
Fair enough.
That's mad. No, we wish you luck. We obviously we've got time
Wish you
and that.
luck.
We wish you
No,
luck
to be
on that.
fair, like,
Yeah.
as not just black women, but I find, especially with black women, that we're built to carry babies. Like, there's a certain, I think, in our DNA, in our genes, in our the way our body's made up, or what have you. So don't take the age factor as a negative. You know what I mean? Like to say, oh, because I've reached. Because I remember when I did, and I didn't realise the impact it would have. Because I didn't see it as anything of having a baby.
Remember you're in a
Mum over 40.
Yeah, but the difference is, yeah, this is where it's a bit.
Because you have children.
It's a bit of a danger one, because you say if you never had children up till now, you wouldn't be thinking like how you were thinking. Only because you've gone through 3, you're a veteran, like bang. So you no, but it is though, and then it's easier. But someone that hasn't would. It must be a complete different mentality.
I don't know what that looks or feels like.
Yeah, so you can't
it?
really make that. You can't really say that, then, innit? Or not? Can you?
I don't know.
I think
but I
what I'm
will say
taking
it.
from what you're saying is just don't put the age factor in it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're
Yeah.
getting too old, and that's what some people, because we're getting older.
But because we're not
on a
there,
rush.
we can't say that. But it's weird.
Yeah, but then you've come to a point where you're starting to look after yourself a bit better. You said you're cutting out certain things and what have you. So I feel if you are looking after yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and what have you, age, all right, yeah, when you're up into the 50s, it's a slightly different ball game. You know what I mean? You could have early menopause or what have you. But I just feel like sometimes as women, we get to that late 30s, 40 stage, and it feels like, well, that's it now. Like, I think it's a different kettle of fish if you've already had kids. I think it's a total different element when you haven't, because it must be totally different. Well, I get it is in the sense of, alright, I know someone that had a child at 41 and they banged another one out at 43 because I've already left it and I want 2 kids at least. So, bush bash. Which I get that, but
It's different, but I think it's nice to grow with your kids. So my friends who do have kids are friends that I went to secondary school with or stuff like that. So they've grown with their kids, like their kids are now 21 or, do you know what I mean? And then there's people who've had their kids later on, and that's a different experience in terms of watching motherhood in that way. So I guess for me, I don't want to rush. I don't want to just have a baby for having a sake. So I don't want my child to turn around and be like, "Oh, where's my dad?"
No, 100, no. Okay.
especially if we've come in this far.
Oh yeah, I think I'd beat myself. Like,
I knew better, innit?
Yeah,
I can't even say it's
like
late teens or
something.
something. No, for real. And I don't take for granted. No, maybe I do take for granted, but like I have both experiences in the sense of I've got like the bigger kids.
Yeah, but it's totally different. Because we got the support mechanism as well with the children as well. So there's a lot of other aspects that.
No, but then if you're older and you have a child, you should be more stable. So at 40, you expect a woman to be more stable. You've got your setup already there. Financially, you should be, but probably financially at a different level. Whereas if you're just starting out in your career and you've had a baby and you're 23 and you're just, it's different.
Finding it out,
and you probably don't want to be out partying every weekend because that's not what you do anymore, innit? So it's different. You don't need, I need someone to go and take the children because I want to be out or want to go on holiday.
Your lifestyle is kind of changed.
And also when I want a child, even now I don't think I'll be ready for a child now. So I still want to do to have to think of somebody else. Like, can't go to this party with my friends, but I can't go on holiday because I've got my.
100.
Whereas I think in my circle group, what's beautiful is that we have done the holiday thing for so many years. So Now it's like, my friend can bring her kids.
Yeah,
like, they can be with us because we're not like, oh yeah, we want to be out every night. Like, we don't mind. Wake up, beach, chill, eat dinner. We're tired. We're go to sleep. Like, so it's fine. So, but it's different if you're I guess part of it would be like some of my friends who do have kids who are like my friends from, so not my main circle.
Yeah.
Remember, their kids are older now, so you're kind of bringing a little baby, and they're ready to start. Stella get their groove back now. So I'm like, no, Stella got to sit down. Sit down at home.
Man, like,
talking about babies.
Well, yeah, because I've got a few friends that are grandparents now. Grandparents now, and I'm just like, I can't even fathom. They're like, well, it is possible, you know. You've got a 21-year-old. I'm like, no, it's not possible. Sorry, no.
Honestly, I was so.
Yeah.
Alright, so, because time's mad, and we're trying to stay. Right, so basically, there's a bit on the show now what we have. I've done it wrong because people are just not coordinating it properly, so it's a bit difficult. I'm trying to get there. So, right, so what was meant.
You throwing shots?
Yeah, yes, I am. So, basically, right, yeah, someone from the last show, Nafisa asked the question to the next person on the next show. So, you're going to answer her question, but what you're meant to do is then send the next question to someone else. So I don't know which way you want to do it. Do you want to send the question to someone else first, or do you want to answer this question?
Oh, hi.
But why would you do that with her? Like, why would you do that?
Munchie.
What is the most challenging thing that you've been through and you've got through, and now you can inspire someone else?
What's the most challenging thing? I guess probably having seasonal affective disorder.
Okay, seasonal defective disorder, winter blues.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. I think I've had it for about 12 years, and probably it's the first time in 12 years in this time of the year I'm not feeling low or depressed or anything. So when I first did it, it'd start like summer, just after summer holidays, because I saw a high, and then it'd go all the way till we get to spring. So I'd be really low, cry, be under my desk, don't want to do nothing. To wake up is a chore. I can sit at my desk and just look at the screen and not do nothing and just watch the 8 hours go by. So over the years it's gotten, not easier because I hate it, but it's gotten, the time's changed, like in terms of when it starts.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that's been very challenging, but I'm not saying that I'm out of it because this year would be the first year to say
that. Okay.
But each year, I don't want to say easy because it's not easier, but it's gotten easier.
Good.
And that's through trying different things, different techniques. So it wipes me out, if that makes sense. But
yeah, you've actually gone. I've watched when you mentioned it to me. I said, let me see what she does over this winter period, and you went in. Like, you proper, what I've seen, you've scheduled out everything, you've planned out everything, and you stay busy. Like, you stayed on this high, and I'm like, I can see what you're doing. Like, I can proper see it. Like, wow, you're not gonna stop. You're like, no, next event, next thing. I'm like,
no, if I come out of a routine, it just there's like a shit that. So it's weird because I spend 6 months really high and motivated, and then 6 months I'm just existing. So,
but ain't that not normal? But don't we all go through them kind of seasons?
That's a different.
It's a different level.
It's not. I just feel a bit not lazy, but I feel a bit
like
lack of motivation. I'm wiped out.
Oh yeah.
My creativity, I can't. Something that would take me 20 minutes to do could take me 3 days.
Okay.
So my creativity levels, my energy levels, everything just zaps.
So you're saying for the last 12 years, what, you self-diagnosed or?
No, so back then I went to counselling for my dad.
Okay.
When my dad passed away, and the man, I must have said whatever, and he's like, oh, this sounds like seasonal affective disorder. So he's like, oh, and he explained, I was like, yeah. And I didn't realise there's a pattern to this mood, and that's why it's important to kind of reflect and pay attention, because sometimes there's seasons, there's patterns, so yes, we might have a low mood, but yours might be a month, 2 months. Mine's 6 months straight, and it gets more and more and more, like worse and worse and worse. So he said it, and I was like, yeah, and then it just made sense, because boom, every time that's that boom, the same time kicks in, and it would just happen. I think there's a point where Tracy called my friends and said, so we weren't really close at this time, we just worked together, and said, Kemi's under the desk, like, and she's always crying, like, blah, blah, blah. So my friends came to my house banging off my door, I wasn't answering, my brother's like, it's in the door, like, and then that's the first time I probably admitted it to them, like, and to the effects of how it affects me. So before I just kept it quiet and just tried to get on, so you wouldn't know, but I don't want to be anywhere, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to be around people, but I can still do it, but I'm just quiet, like, it's a lot of energy to go out and be active.
So, is that something that happens with those that live in hot countries? Is there...
No, so you need sun.
Okay.
Yeah, so they said, like, I think that when I've read up about it a few years ago, so Sweden, I think it's one of them countries, they have a long period of darkness in the winter, and they have high levels of suicide. Something like that I've read,
Okay. Alright, so the question was, what's the most challenging?
That's the most challenging thing, and how can it help?
What can you...
how you overcome it.
So I've tried to overcome it through, trying different techniques, different methods, and now I know I need routine, and I can't break that routine, and building a village around me, so people can't really tell me what to do, because I'm like, I'm doing my own thing, but saying no, just say things, even if I say, I don't, it's just keeping me in check. So if you see me just come off a little bit, then Kem's, so before I steer off, like, notice that the little things, these are things to pick up and notice when I'm withdrawing, when I'm always sleeping. That's the time to be like that. So people would always message me like, you haven't been on WhatsApp, or you haven't, but well, this time around where I haven't been on WhatsApp is I don't want to be on social media at the moment, but usually that's just like I come off all socials, I'm not, you won't really see me post any, let's go dormant and quiet.
Okay.
Cool, so you got your question now. Your question, and you're gonna say it to this camera here, innit? Like, what's their question?
My question.
On the spot.
Something like so. If you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you do?
Ooh, if you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you do?
Yeah, that's good. That's strong.
That's amazing. I want to answer it myself, but not. No, I'm not answering that. That's for the next guest to get me. That's a deep one still.
I think I might chew on that and answer it.
Yeah, do it on our next show. So that's a deep one still.
Because sometimes it's the fear of failing that stops us from doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's mad, you know. Gosh. Libby, why does she do that? She always does that. Lose them little gems and that. What's wrong with that? But nah, it's been beautiful speaking to you. We're gonna invite you back on.
That makes people want to have a baby.
I know she right the right time. Have a baby,
No, thank you for coming down now. And once again, your flowers. I want to give you the flowers. I want to thank you for all the great work you're doing.
Thank you.
Know that we're always here to support in the best way we can. And hold tight, the man them single man them. Come hit me up, DM me in it. I need to.
Criteria.
Yeah, I need your resume. I need to know what the criteria.
No, you don't. No, you don't put that out there.
I'm joking. I will not be putting out my criteria.
After what?
No, because you don't want to give people words to say or things.
No. They can still. They have to come through me first. And
even if they still do. But imagine me saying, I'm looking for a guy.
Guys, I'm not looking for.
Yeah, that as well.
No, she is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Looking. Pick. She just puts herself in a place to attract whatever she is giving.
Do you want to do the outro on that?
No, you're good.
No, you did. Kemi, you did outro.
Okay.
You're a Toastmaster.
Show, like, subscribe.
Done no.
No hateful comments.
Hey, you done no. You can't hate.
Comment, like. No, thank you guys. And yeah, like loving the show, and the content you're putting out there. And the best one that you said was the best one is the one when you had the guy and the lady about relationships.
Navaga Zulu.
That was powerful.
Yeah,
we're gonna do more of that. That was some good
yeah, we're gonna do more of that. We've got another blended family coming on as well, so that's gonna be a different dynamic. So I'm looking forward to that one as well, because it's gonna be like a next level of blended family. So
that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
But no, thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Big up everybody though. Don't know what do you say? Don't do your thing though. I like when you do the thing.
What when I mock you? What, love and light?
Yeah.
No, it don't work.
Love and light, people.
Love and light. Say bye, River.
Bye.
But thank you everyone for tuning in. Till next week.
Cheese. Right,
No, but thank you guys.